Trevor Hunter here at Dirt Bike Test. We just finished up a day of riding on the 2023 Kawasaki KX250 here at Perris Raceway. It's hot, dry, dusty, typical Southern California summer, but we got a pretty good feel for this bike and kind of some of the changes they made. A lot of the changes center around the motor for the new updates. Kawasaki, by all the various motor updates, which you can read at dirtbiketest.com, Kawasaki, they looked at improving all aspects of this motor, and we feel it's an improvement. Starting with the bottom end, there's a lot of good usable power. Not say Yamaha-ish, but there's still plenty of power down low. If you make a mistake, you ride a gear taller, it kind of pulls it through, where some bikes aren't able to do that. Then if you take a quick stab of the clutch, it comes to life instantly. And then building from the mid to the top end gets really impressive. It revs seemingly forever. Like if you never wanted to shift, you didn't have to. The top end and over rev is really good in this bike in the new updates. We played around with the couplers a little bit, and typically I like the mellow coupler on this bike for whatever reason. But today I found myself liking the aggressive coupler the best. Because that top end was really impressive. It still had enough power down low where you could kind of pull through the corners, be a little smooth on the throttle, and it gets you out of there nice and quick. Onto the suspension. Suspension is pretty good stock. They revised the fork and shock settings. I believe they left the springs alone, but just internal valving. And forks, we never made a click change all day. And then the shock, we messed around a little bit. We started off the day with around 100 millimeters of sag, and it's kind of felt a little front end heavy, a little unstable, and it's kind of twitchy coming in the corners. It's not super fast track, but there's a couple straightaways where I just was getting a little nervous front end feeling. So we took about half a spring preload out, and that helped the bike a lot. It still cornered really good, and then just gave it that stability that it was missing out on. And so yeah, that spring change, adding a little bit more sag, like 102, 103 millimeters, that helped a lot for me personally. And then also for the shock, we stiffened up the low-speed compression 2 clicks, so that just kind of helped settle the rear end. It was kind of blowing through a little bit on some of the bigger braking bumps and kicking, so it just kept it flatter and more balanced overall. Like I said, this bike turns really well. One of the better turning bikes in the class, I feel like. And yeah, kind of like the middle of the corner, it's getting a little vague front end feeling. But I think a lot of that is the front tire on here. We have an MX33, and it's dry and dusty and hard pack, and just not ideal for the MX33 front tire. So I think if we went to like an MX53 or some Michelin's or something, we could find that mid-corner performance that we're kind of lacking right now. But overall, the bike is really good. Kind of some of the weirder things, like the front brake lever, still not a huge fan of. But like the hydraulic clutch, I think is one of the better hydraulic clutches out there. I like the feel and the engagement point on that. Yeah, the foot pegs are all new for this year. I think they came off the previous 450s. The foot pegs are really good, nice and wide. Big improvement over last year's foot pegs. And yeah, the grips are a little not my preference, but when we're just nitpicking here, and we're only spending one day on the bike, but overall it's a really impressive bike. Motor, suspension, handling, all of it works really well. I feel it's an underrated 250F. Like the Yamaha and the KTM, they kind of seem to get a lot of hype, but I think overall this Kawasaki 250 is one that we don't spend enough time with, and that doesn't get talked about enough by us, or even just the media in general. It is really, really good and a lot of potential, and yeah, we're looking to spend some more time on this, maybe the X model, and get a better feel for it and give you guys more information. So for now, just stay tuned to dirtbiketest.com. Check out our YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you out on the trail.